Yes, indeed. The princess craves playmates, I'm afraid. She's rather tantrumy. Press up on the D-pad to walk to the room where she awaits. Please go to her at once.
Toadsworth, they're literal toddlers. How did they even get to Peach's castle on their own?
You don't know that they got there on their own. The only thing we see is them entering the castle. Even if they did, we see throughout the game that the babies are more than capable of handling themselves.
No sign of the princess! No! No! That awful monster! Just take her easy now. She wasn't this fella's breakfast. My DS time radar puts Peach somewhere in the Mushroom Kingdom of yesteryear.
Time radar? So you didn't just figure out time travel, but you also developed a way to detect someone's location in the past?
Yeah, so what's your point?
Careful there, young fella. If I'm right, that time hole leads back in time. Yup, a younger Mushroom Kingdom. Question is, to where in the Mushroom Kingdom?
Wait, how is that the question? If the time hole is here, it would stand to reason that no matter when we end up, we would still be in Peach's castle, right? Or does time travel here follow more realistic rules, where we can only time travel in year-long increments, otherwise the planet's revolution would just be at another point around the sun and we would just be stuck in space?
Yeah.
It's neither of those. The time holes work by sending whoever enters them from Peach's castle to another location in the past because the time machine started in Peach's castle and was destroyed somewhere else in the past. I'll explain in a little more detail in a later sin.
Use this time hole to rescue the princess?
Oh yeah.
Now there's an idea. I bet dollars to donuts that's our best chance of saving her.
Or, and hear me out, fix the fucking time machine, my guy. I know you can't fully do it because the Cobalt Star's not there, but you don't know that. You didn't even try.
Charriii answers himself cliche. Also, even if he did try, he would have discovered the Cobalt Star is not there. Not to mention, it would also take a while to do, and that's a luxury they don't have.
My ears! She'll ruin us all! Fine, I'll help them if it'll just shut her up! Koopa Cannon, fire!
Now that I think about it, what the hell is the point of Baby Bowser kidnapping Baby Peach? As adults, I get it. He not only wants to take over the kingdom, but also maybe force her into marriage. But as babies, I don't think Peach really rules over anything yet. And I don't think Bowser knows anything about Peach to want to marry her at this point.
Maybe force her into playing with him? If Yoshi's Island is anything to go by, this would be entirely plausible.
Eh? What's that you say? Princess Peach is being held prisoner in the castle? Oh, surely you jest. The princess is quite safe and sound right here with me. I beg your pardon? The future Princess Peach? The future Masters Mario and Luigi? You poor fellows. You've gone a bit daffy, eh? Your noggins must have gotten bonked. Perhaps a nap? I can understand why Toadsworth wouldn't believe them right away. It is a pretty far-fetched story, but think about it. Why would these two grown men dressed exactly like Mario and Luigi know anything about two babies named Mario and Luigi who haven't really accomplished anything in their lives yet?
Anyone can wear the same clothes as another person. That doesn't mean they are the same person. Besides, what you said is exactly what happens in the story, and you said that you understand why he wouldn't believe them at first. So I don't really see the sin here.
So, how does the time travel thing work? Why is it a round trip to the baby's time and back to the present day? Do we get to choose when we end up? Clearly not if adult Mario and Luigi didn't know when Peach was going. What are the rules, damn it?
The rules are that each time hole is a round trip from Peach's castle to another place in the past. As I mentioned earlier, the time machine started its voyage in Peach's castle, and because its power source, the Cobalt Star, was blasted every which way to Sunday in the past, it created time holes in the general area the pieces landed in, leading back to its point of origin.
Did you get that?
No!
Why are all the time holes in the present in Peach's castle? The time holes in the past are all around the Mushroom Kingdom, so it's a huge coincidence that in the present, they're all neatly concentrated here.
Tony Sonic literally just explained that. I don't think he wants to repeat himself, so I'll just send you right now.
Professor, I must inform you, the Mushroom Kingdom of the past is in gargantuan trouble.
So it's true. These shroom creatures have made off with the princess, eh?
Wait, how did you know about the Shroob's name? I'm guessing Stuffwell told you, but now that I think about it, Who came up with the name in the first place? Because the Charriii5’s don't speak the same language as the people around here, so it's not like they could introduce themselves.
Elder Princess Charriii5 speaks English. She could have introduced them.
You can see that mark over to the left of the badge name, can't you? The capital E is for adults, and the lowercase e is used for the young juveniles.
Capitol with an O? Like a building? I think you mean capital with an A, meaning uppercase.
Typos aren't sins, Logan. They're nitpicks.
Also, what do you mean young juveniles? Juvenile means young.
Juvenile on its own suggests a child, or even a tween. Since they're babies, Stuffwell added a young to make sure it was specific.
Area restricted. All noob intruders to be hacksorted by us Lead Hammer Bros.
Oh my god, I thought this era of the internet was behind us.
Charriii makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the game cliche. Not really, but close enough.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Baby Mario? What the f?
What do you mean, what the fuck? He was stopping the Charriii5 saucers from being powered. I'm pretty sure they would have figured that out anyway. Baby Mario was just one step ahead.
Toadsworth the Younger. The princess. She won't stop crying. Tut, worry not, Aldemy. We've not yet begun to amuse. Arms out now. 3, 2, 1. Toadsworth twist. Jolly good, Aldemy. Our charge is giggling.
Oh yeah.
What's that you say, old bean? You wish to learn our move?
Why don't Mario and Luigi remember how to do this from the last game?
Assuming the gap between each game is the same as it is in reality, which, given the references to Mario's various anniversaries, is a safe bet, it's been 2 years since the last game in the series. That's more than enough time to forget a move.
Okay, realistically, what's stopping Mario and Luigi from helping this Yoshi? They're pretty strong, plus the babies have hammers. Why do we have to find the other Yoshis?
Well, it takes 7 Yoshis to move this rock, and a single Yoshi is, being a little generous, half as strong as Mario. The babies individually have a quarter of the strength of Mario. Doing the math, even if all 4 of them started pushing with the Yoshi, they still wouldn't be strong enough to move the rock. Plus, by freeing the other Yoshis to help move the rock, you're essentially killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
You know, looking back, Bowser's Inside Story almost makes too much sense. Alpha Dream really liked putting Mario and Luigi inside of monsters' bodies. It was only a matter of time before they made a whole game surrounded by the concept.
Okay, you're gonna tell us why that's a sin? We're waiting.
Well, I am stupid mortified. There's an egg factory in this beast's dorsal cavity. This is vile shroob work.
Is it? Because I'm pretty sure Yoshis have the same mechanism in their bodies too. Otherwise, how do they turn gulped enemies into eggs?
This egg factory is very clearly alien-made. How Yoshis turn enemies into eggs is a part of their biology.
Okay, I was gonna hold off on this, but this is ridiculous. I've said it for like the past, 3 Mario games that I don't really talk about gameplay in these videos, but the fights and Partners in Time are brutal, especially the boss fights. I feel like I take way too much damage from one attack and don't get enough experience from enemies, even though up to this point anyway, I've been fighting every single one I come across. For a game that makes me experiment through trial and error to learn enemies' attack patterns, it really feels like there's very little room for error. And that's just half of it. The other half are the bosses which take forever to beat, not even because they're hard necessarily, but because they have so much damn health. Either that or my damage output just isn't high enough, and I can't even tell you how frustrating it is to be dodging every single one of your enemy's attacks, only to still be fighting them minutes later and then get hit because you mistimed an input. I've been fighting Sunnyside for 15 minutes, and all it is release Yoshi, dodge attacks 5 times, and get Sunnyside on his back, do as much damage as you can, and then repeat all that like 20 times. And eventually, you're gonna mess up, meaning that you either have to waste a turn healing or just lose a bro altogether, making the fight long
longer because the babies don't hit as hard as the adults do. And this one is completely on me, but did anyone else find it tricky coordinating all 4 characters during the battles? Because I swear, during the puzzles, they're fun to control, but using all the face buttons during combat never felt intuitive to me, especially when one of the adults fell, and I had to alternate between buttons I wasn't used to.
Oh boy, here we go. First off, you're talking out of your ass. As someone who played this game all the way through earlier this year, I fought every single enemy I came across, and for the most part, had a fairly comfortable experience throughout because of it. It wasn't easy by any means, but not brutally difficult like you're suggesting, so
You're either a liar or a liar.
Second, you could always use brothers items to speed up the process. The way I fight bosses in these games is to use normal attacks on the boss until I either expose the weak point or get it in a position where it's weaker than normal, and then just go ham on it with the best brothers attacks, or items in this game's case, I have at the moment. It's not a flawless method by any means, but more often than not, it gets me results, and I highly recommend that you try it. And third, this is a popular complaint people have with partners in time, and I can confirm that controlling the brothers in battle is a touch awkward at first. After practicing a little bit, my fingers adjusted accordingly, and that was smooth sailing from there. Sure, some of the later brothers items were tough to pull off, but that's just because of how fast they can get. And again, with practice, I was able to pull them off consistently. Not to mention, you admit that it's completely your fault. You can't blame a game for your own shortcomings.
I have a little fury even with my remembering. Red and green! A pair of jumping hammers in red and green who are looking like you! I have fury! Those brothers of badness! My brain aches at their overalls! I have fury and headache now! Awful would be here, raining overall and laughing at you! But no. So much fury! Stupid mustaches! Hair's like the dirty tail of a horse in a barn built by a farmer who is crazy! I have calm!
How did Fawful even get underneath Peach's castle to open up his bean shop? You have to learn a new ability to take a pipe that requires 4 people to even come down here.
If you look at the back of Fawful's shop, you'll notice that there's another entrance. The brothers only take one entrance.
Gee whiz, you boys found the secret entrance after all. Color me bamboozled.
Yeah. How did you get here? You were the one who told us that we couldn't just use the front door, and there's no way you could have found the secret entrance.
And why is that? No, seriously, tell me why.
Oh no.
Well, damn, Mario. What exactly do you think Luigi did to the babies? It's not like Luigi is known to get particularly mad for no reason. Maybe he just got whacked in the head by his own brother with a hammer.
He doesn't know that. Why do you guys act like these characters know information you do when they very clearly don't?
Mamma mia.
We could have escaped. Why on earth did baby Luigi go down instead of up? And why didn't the Marios open up the pathway?
He clearly tried to run away, but got cut off by Petey. Besides, they need to take him down to save Peach and Kylie regardless.
You're quite the motley crew, but you make for gold copy, no doubt about that. Good as you boys are, though, this dame's got a lead that'll top anything you've ever done.
That is an incredibly large key. Where were you keeping it?
Hammer space.
The miraculous powers of the Bros Ball will flatten the tykes out like hotcakes. This will allow them to fit in tight spaces previously unreachable to you. Do not fret, however. They'll pop right back up in no time. Ah, the flexibility of childhood.
Okay, I know that in this world some crazy shit happens, but how exactly are we able to flatten people without hurting them? Same with the Mini Mario ability in the rest of the series. Are our skeletons malleable? We know we have skeletons. Why does this not hurt us, but getting crushed by a thwomp does?
1. There is a very clear difference between being squished by a human and crushed by a stone slab. 2, you really need to stop the whole "I know this world is nonsensical, but I don't understand this nonsensical thing" spiel. This is why everyone here at my channel thinks you can't suspend your disbelief. Sure, maybe you can do that in reality, but by continuing to make these contradictions piled onto the other statements you make regarding the craziness of video games, you're only supporting our case and making yourself look bad.
But the princess! Steady, old bean. Master Mario and the others will undoubtedly save the princess as always. You will save her, won't you? I assure you she's not in another castle or anything. Wow, even Mario and Luigi couldn't handle how lame that joke was.
That's the joke.
You suck, McBain!
Okay, don't quote me on this, but I'm almost 100% certain that this is the only HP block in the entire game, and I don't really get why it's there, considering there's rarely a reason I should be losing health in Peach's castle anyway, and my health replenishes every time I beat a boss, so I think I might have just found the single most useless block in all of Mario.
Wrong. There are actually 2 other HP blocks in this game. One in Yoob's stomach, and another outside the room where you fight Princess Charriii5. Granted, there is the question of what the second block is doing there of all places, but hey, at least the last one's placement makes sense.
Travesty. If Princess Peach's tiara is here, could it be that she and Bowser tumbled into the volcano? I cannot compute our ill luck. Our timing is beyond horrible. If we don't put a stop to that eruptionizing, we're doomed.
Yeah? And how exactly are you going to stop an erupting volcano, Stuffwell? If Peach and Bowser fell in there, they're ash, dead, we're done.
Peach, maybe. Bowser...
Erupted? Did you say erupted? What? It just blew its top a few moments ago. Why didn't you say so? What were we waiting for?
Whatever opening those fiery thwomps just came in through must have been huge for them to land in those spots at those exact angles.
Or they just smashed through the ceiling.
You hear me, fellas? I've just completed the most marvelous invention. Yep, this incredible machine will put a stop to any volcanic eruption, no matter how great. The inspiration just came out of nowhere, just as all great ones do. I call it the Hydro Gush 4000.
Okay, so that means that you came up with it, but didn't know that we needed it. Meaning that Stuffwell didn't tell you, meaning that there was no reason for you to have built it. Why'd you build it?
First of all, you skipped over the whole sequence where EGAD's memory was affected due to past EGAD's interaction with the brothers, which makes me wonder if you really are a liar. Second, have you seen the amount of things EGAD has built? This is totally in character for him.
Well, luckily, the Hydro Gush came out of the time hole at exactly the right pressure and angle to hit the lava.
It's almost like the Hydro Gush was designed this way.
You, too heavy. Excuse me? How dare you? Jerk! Oof, she's scary. I pay for that. Now you know why you treat ladies nice.
I feel like the takeaway should be treat ladies nice because it's the right thing to do, not treat ladies nice otherwise I'll toss you into a volcano.
I don't know, man. Women can be pretty mean when you upset them.
Watch it! What you doing jumping on head? I'm Thwomp. I crush you! You try to hit block up there? You dumb. Fine, hit it. Or not! You think I'm in volcano with time on hands? You see hands? No! I bored. We play game.
Wait a second, you just implied that you had no time for stuff, and now you want me to play your stupid little game? Which is it, Thwomp?
He said that he has no time on his hands, but since he doesn't have any hands, he has time.
Oh my god, I'm still fighting Bowser? It's been 16 minutes! and I still have 5 minutes of this fight to go!
Remember what I said about using brothers' items? I'm just saying they can be useful in situations like these.
This is one of 2 times in the game, outside of the signs you can read, that the Charriii5 speech is translated, and both times it doesn't really add much. I think it's understood that the people of Mario and Luigi's world can't understand them anyway, and it's not like we learn much about the Charriii5s through their dialogue. Why bother translating?
I don't think that's a translation per se, more like Princess Charriii5 speaking in a mixture of both languages. By the way, this happens 3 times in the game, not 2.
What? How'd you do that?
She made a very convincing disguise.
Those Charriii5 hooligans tore our poor village to pieces. I do believe we old biddies are the only 2 souls left.
I'm sorry, you old what?
I do believe we old biddies are the only 2 souls left.
Biddies. Not tig-old, just plain old.
What?
Such sadness and such loneliness for us old birds. Oh, terrible loneliness. When you're as old as we are, loneliness is all you can count on. You look like fine young men. Would you shop here every day and make us old hens happy?
Oh, no you don't. I've seen this one before. Next thing you know, I'm stuck in a loveless relationship and have to be a stepfather to people older than me.
What the hell are you talking about?
Whatever that bullshit was.
Where have I seen that before?
Charriii makes a video game rap.
Ah! F this fight, man! It's just make the bomb roll, dodge attacks, make the bomb roll, dodge attacks, and repeat that for, and I cannot stress this enough, 23 minutes! And I died to this thing a few times, so I was ready to lose my damn mind by the time I beat him!
Well, maybe instead of only using normal attacks all the way through like an idiot, you could have used brothers' items that do a lot of damage and make this fight a lot quicker. That block isn't just sitting there for no reason.
I do recommend you watch your diet, however, for it is also filled with much Alfredo sauce. You should especially cut down on carbonara, though it will be hard, for that is very tasty. If you curb your appetite, do some light cardio work, and continue toward your brother, you will no doubt grow to be a figure of immense popularity, yet not grow an immense belly.
Are you kidding me? I'm shocked that Mario has a belly at all. Have you seen the kind of shit this man can do? Cardio schmardio, Mario's gonna outlive us all!
Maybe that's why Mario eats so much. He does all this acrobatic stuff and has to refuel on pizza and pasta.
You... good luck out there.
Oh no.
What is that? You crave more? I could be more direct, but everyone would hear. Are you sure you wish for this to be? The secrets of your heart would be revealed. That odd incident, and that other thing as well.
What kind of things has Luigi been up to that would be embarrassing for us to find out?
Nothing you, or frankly anyone else, should know.
Get serious! The correct answer is... for everyone! What else could it be? How could you fail to know the correct answer? It is inconceivable to me. It is deplorable. What? Did I tell you to choose from only 3 responses? What do you mean there were not 4 to choose from? You lie! It is this very tendency to falsify and edit the facts that gets you in trouble.
Oh no.
Surely you realize your progress is a testament to teamwork, that it is a group effort. I know you do, and yet you refuse to pick the correct answer for everyone. And then you lie. I am appalled.
No.
If you continue thusly, your fate is sealed. You shall spend your days in loneliness, mark my words.
Okay, fuck you, giant door. My boy here is a team player, and you're gaslighting him into thinking he's not worthy.
This is just a test for Mario to see how loyal he is to Luigi, and as we clearly see, Mario rushes to defend his brother, after which the Star Door compliments Luigi by saying that he was worthy all along.
Thank you very much for choosing Lackey to travel. Have a nice day.
Wait, you mean to tell me that we could have taken a lackey to get here, instead of having to prove ourselves to that toxic-ass Star Door?
The brothers didn't know that. Why would they know? Besides, I've already debunked your sin involving the Star Door.
Excuse me, what? I couldn't even process what had happened when I first recorded this. I had to watch back and realize that a piranha planet from the platform above where the babies were shot at me and it homes in on you. I thought I was safe.
Well, you thought wrong. Your mistake is not a fault of the game.
Oh, fuck that. Are you kidding me? I've been fighting this thing for 12 minutes and all of a sudden I have to deal with a turn limit, which is an instant game over if I don't hit that thing? The Marios are dead, my guy. I've already suffered through this fight twice, meaning that I have to awkwardly carry baby Mario for whatever goddamn reason, and now my jumping is timed differently than what I'm used to, meaning I get hit, meaning I have to waste a turn healing, making this fight longer than it already is naturally.
You know, you wouldn't be suffering this much if you just used your super powerful brother's items. Seriously, why aren't you using them?
If we rescue Princess Peach and defeat the Shroobs, we may be able to re-toadify these two.
Well, we'd re-toadify Toadbird. I think we'd recuperate Kylie.
Ha ha.
Shut up, Mr. Nitpicker.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. It makes no sense that I can't baby spin the juveniles to the other side here.
Because that would be cheating, and we don't allow that in Mario RPGs. He means realistically. When has Mario ever been realistic? The realistic humans in Nudong City? Beyond aesthetics? Yeah, I got nothing.
So, fun fact, unless the Rex Shrew has been stomped on, this attack is unavoidable. You literally cannot counterattack this move because the Rex Shrew is too tall to jump over.
So, this is just something you learn to prevent when you fight it for the first time. It's a rookie mistake that anyone can make. That doesn't mean it's the game's fault.
What's that? Control this? And send those Shroop saucers to obliteration? Of course! Brilliant! And all thanks to Luigi. Quite an accomplishment.
The fuck is that supposed to mean, you Dora the Explorer reject?
Logan, calm down.
No! I am not gonna sit here and have Luigi be insulted by a goddamn seat cushion with a face! Back to adventure! More like back to whatever Goodwill clearance day sale EGAD bought you from, you Mickey Mouse pants-looking motherfucker!
Oh, he does kind of look like that.
You know what your name in Japanese is? Suitcase! That's how unexceptional you are! You don't even get a name! Stuffwell! That's what I'm gonna do to your mom!
Whoa, dude!
Fucking duffel bag!
As much as I love a good roast, you need to remember that Luigi hasn't accomplished much yet, and I highly doubt Stuffwell knows about the events of Luigi's Mansion in Superstar Saga.
Oh, of course you did. Thank you. That's awesome.
Everything wrong with Mario and Luigi partners in time, ladies and gentlemen. An enemy did something bad.
Mario! Sorry for all the trouble. This will seem rather sudden, but would you please save our progress in this area? It's just... my forecastination sensors are clanging away. I do not believe we'll be able to return once we pass through that door. I would hate to boot up a regret cycle for our adventure. Isn't it smart to save? You know, save? You'll save, right?
Yes, goddamn you! I've been hitting literally every save album. Why would I not do it now?
He's just emphasizing the importance of saving right now. He doesn't think you won't.
Also, if you would hate to boot up a regret cycle, why put another save album further ahead? The next boss isn't the last one. If I can run out of items fighting her and can't come back, well then I'm kind of fucked, aren't I?
He doesn't know about the save album ahead, because why would he?
The castle is under your control. You don't need to attack your own castle.
Do I really need to say this? Unfortunately, yes. They're trying to kill the Mario Brothers. If you would look before you speak, you would notice that they're only attacking the area the Mario Brothers are in.
Oh, my leather! Before hitting that save album, listen. I have investified the flight program that I downloaded from the mothership. Yes, I realized that I could recombobulate it to allow you to travel through time. Using this program, you can return to the recent past. I've decided to call it Stuffwell's Special Service Warpulator. If there's something you forgot, or especially want to do, I can take you back to the time before you rescued Peach.
Wait, and now I can go back to whenever I want anyway? What the f was the point of telling me I couldn't do it earlier?
Because you couldn't do it earlier. Stuffwell said very plainly that he downloaded this program from the mothership they just fought.
Man, f this fight especially. You want to know how long this fight took? 31 minutes, and I know you must be thinking it's really annoying that I keep bringing up how long the boss fights take me, but it's to illustrate what my successful attempts were like. Most of these bosses took me a number of times to beat, and some of my attempts were really close, so imagine having to do it all over again. And I know what you're gonna say. Oh, just use the copy flower, dumbass. Well, I didn't really find out about the usefulness of the copy flower until the final boss, because the first few bros items kinda sucked, and I hardly ever used them against regular enemies. But even then, it's not like it would have been super useful if I had 3/4 chance of fucking up an input with something I had a limited quantity of. Granted, at this point I had a bunch of them because I wasn't using them, but the only way you'll be able to keep more bros items is if you get the Ultifree badge from Fawful, which costs 90 beans.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. First, this is the pseudo-final boss of the game. Since you've just admitted to not using Brothers items for pretty much the entire game, of course it's going to take a bitch-ass long time for you to beat. It would have been a lot shorter if you actually used Brothers items, but apparently that's something you're against. As for your reasoning behind not using Brothers items, to be perfectly blunt, it's dumb as hell. Just because the first few ones aren't that great, even though they're purposely designed to only really be useful against lower level enemies and bosses, doesn't mean that later items won't be helpful in any way. Two incredibly useful items to know are the Ice Flower, which can actually lower an opponent's defense, and the Trampoline, which is a less powerful version of the Copy Flower that you get about midway through. Also, just because you have a limited supply doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. They're not exactly scarce. You can get some from question mark blocks, sometimes after winning a battle, and buying a lot of them from the shops. And I admit that later attacks are tricky to pull off, but like I said, you get better with practice. You want to know how I practice with these? Whenever I came across enemies that gave me trouble, I used Brothers items to not only take them out one go, but also learn how each Brothers item worked. Because of this, I was able to figure out which ones were really useful and which ones weren't, and got good at pulling off these incredibly powerful attacks. And regarding the Ultifree badge, if you are smart, which I'm not entirely sure you are, you would have saved up your beans to buy at least one like I did. So really, all this boils down to is you not wanting to do item management because you're a jackass.
You don't even get experience for it. Like, you realize there's one more fight, right? One where I could use the stat boost?
Okay, before you finish, I have a couple things to say. First, that's intentional to hide the big twist that comes right after the fight. The only reason you knew about it beforehand is because so many people had talked about it before. Second, and far more importantly, I think I finally found out the real reason you've been struggling throughout this game. Look at this EXP count. Sure, it looks like a lot, but in actuality, it's so much less. Normally in these games, you want to be on par, maybe a couple levels lower than the final boss, right? Well, in Elder Princess Charriii5's case, that's level 31. According to a chart I found, link in description, this much EXP nets you a level of, I kid you not, 23. How the fuck does something like that even happen? What, did you decide to not fight enemies for an entire area or something? I mean, I can kind of see why you wouldn't know this since you don't see the enemy's level in this game, but if you go throughout most of the game feeling like you A, don't do enough damage, B, can't take a hit, or C, don't have enough HP to survive for a while, how do you not guess that you're underleveled? Whether you knew this or not, this is so bad that it warrants 10 sins. And somehow, that's not the worst part of the video. This is.
Elder Princess Charriii5 has 3,500 HP in Phase 1. That's 500 more HP than her sister, as well as her second form, which you don't get to heal for. You beat Phase 1, you go straight into Phase 2, meaning that altogether, she has around 6,500 HP. And you know how I know the developers thought this was way too much too? In the European and Japanese versions of the game, she has 3,800 HP total. Only 300 HP more than her American first phase, which, by the way, is almost double the HP of the non-American versions. And honestly, thank God for the mixed flower, because otherwise I don't know how they expected you to beat her second phase. You have to damage her, same as any other enemy, right? But in order to do that, you have to deactivate her crown by damaging it. Okay, that's fine, but in order to even be able to reach the crown, you have to take out her tentacles. Both the crown and the tentacles each have their own HP, by the way. The tentacles having 400 HP, more than any regular enemy in the game, and the crown having 200 HP, the same amount as the Charriii5, the regular enemy with the most HP. Also, the crown and tentacles come back after 3 turns, so fuck you.
No, fuck you for sinning this fight. Okay, before I get to why that's a bad thing, I'm gonna go over your points in one sin. First of all, that metric ton of HP doesn't matter, because assuming you're at least close to her level, which we've just established that you aren't, an excellent rating attack with both the copy and mixed flowers does anywhere from 400 to 500 damage. With that knowledge, you'll be mowing down her HP in no time, or at least you would be if you had bothered to grind. Second, who cares if you didn't have the mixed flower? You do have it, therefore your hypothetical situations mean jack shit. And now for the big reason Charrii's wrong for sinning this fight. For those of you who somehow don't know, Elder Princess Charriii is not only one of the most popular fights in the Mario and Luigi series, but also one of the most popular fights in Mario, period. Not only that, but he's sinning it for all the wrong reasons, as I've just stated. Charrii's entire mindset when playing this game has been, no, it's not my fault I was underleveled, it's not my fault that I didn't use any brothers items this entire game, and it's not my fault that it felt awkward controlling the brothers in combat. That's obviously the game's fault. This is everything wrong with Partners in Time, not everything wrong with Charriii5, and I'm sure that I'll get away with it too. I have a ton of subscribers after all. It's not like anyone's going to care. Okay, dude, you really need to calm down a bit. I get it. Elder Princess Charriii is a good final boss. One of the best, in fact. But that doesn't mean everyone's going to like it. You're inevitably going to find someone that doesn't like what's popular. Well, ordinarily, this wouldn't be an issue. In fact, in the context of any other video, I would be okay with this as long as his reasoning is sound. But here's the catch. Not only is all of his reasoning flawed, but by doing this at all, he breaks one of the fundamental rules he set for his series. In his Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind video, he specifically states this.
And I focus more on story because while some narrative devices can be open to interpretation, oftentimes inconsistencies are pretty irrefutable, where some dialogue can be proven to be demonstrably false. Gameplay doesn't really have that. What I find to be annoying gameplay mechanics, others might enjoy a lot. A boss fight that I find difficult, others could see as the easiest thing in the world. Whenever I do a this fight, I usually make sure that the community agrees that it's a hard fight and that it's not just me who's struggling with it. In fact, I'm pretty sure the first time I did that, and probably where the running gag came from, was my video on Chain of Memories, where I made sure that people thought the fourth Recuplicate fight was considered hard.
But if he actually took the time to look at what people thought about her, he would have seen that she's incredibly popular amongst the fanbase. Oh sure, you'll look up how much HP the final boss has, but not people's opinion on it, because being true to your word just isn't a thing to Charriii. Honestly, the other rants were bad enough, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Sunnyside and the Bowers were okay, Commander Charriii was annoying, Elder Screwboy was frustrating, Princess Charriii made me mad, but this actively made me rage, harder than I've ever raged before, and that is not an exaggeration. In fact, I'm actually quite relieved that now that this video is finished, I have no reason to ever watch this shit show ever again. And I know someone's going to say, it's not that bad, you're overreacting, it's not that big a deal, but this isn't like the other times. It's not just one or two instances of Charriii complaining about a boss is too hard for him and I tell him to get good. He's been like this for most of the video. He doesn't bother to recognize when he messed up, or worse, he does recognize his flaws, but decides to blame the game for whatever asinine reason. And he creates these seemingly understandable rules, but doesn't even bother to follow them. I'm gonna say it. I hate this video. Okay, that's enough. You go rest and calm down for a while. I'll finish the video. You're right. I'll do that. Give him 100 sins for me, okay? Sure thing, buddy.
The mushroom! Could it be? Baby's tears?
The Hydro Gush.
Fire it up!
Wait, I don't understand. Did they fill the Hydro Gush with baby's tears, or was the solution just adding water?
If you would just wait a minute, EGAD explains why the Hydro Gush worked. Seriously, learn patience, man.
The liquid the Hydro Gush is spouting has the same chemical makeup as the baby's tears.
Oh, bullshit. It does not.
I'm beginning to understand why TS gets so mad at you sometimes. This is the answer the game is providing, and in this world, it's as good of an answer as any. So either accept it, or I'll shove it up your ass.
Considering that they're taking the time machine back to the past, doesn't that mean that they'll have grown up with the time machine? Meaning that there's no reason for EGAD to build a time machine? Meaning that Princess Peach knows to not go back to the past? Meaning that the elder Princess Shroob never gets trapped in the Cobalt Star? Most likely meaning that the Shroobs successfully take over the Mushroom Kingdom? Ow, brain hurts.
Or since they know about the events of their future, they would either hide or destroy the time machine so that EGAD can build a new time machine so that the events of their future still go as they should.
Also, no fucking remaster. Rip hopes and dreams. Goodbye, happiness.
We had a feeling you would bring this up. As much as it sucks, there is a reason for it. Compared to Superstar Saga, and especially Bowser's Inside Story, Partners in Time didn't sell as well as either of them. And after the Bowser's Inside Story remake, Alpha Dream filed for bankruptcy. Maybe Nintendo will get another team to make more Mario and Luigi games, but right now, the series is stuck the way it is. Still better than Paper Mario, though. Hey everyone, Tony Sonic here. Thanks for watching the video, and as always, I hope you enjoyed it a lot. As of the video's ending, I'm supposed to be resting after a really big rant. Well, I'm actually recording all of this before all that, in case if any of you were wondering. With that said, Mario and Luigi Partners in Time is my second favorite Mario and Luigi game. The whole thing was just a blast to play throughout. But even so, there are still some small things that keep me from calling it my favorite. Namely, some combat mechanics, like even with practice, Bros attacks can be really difficult to pull off. And the visuals. Like, maybe that's due to me starting with the later games and growing used to their art style more. But still, I just don't think they look as good. I mean, they're still good, but I definitely prefer the later games art style. And in case you're wondering why I'm only holding up the cartridge, it's because the copy I bought didn't come with a case, so this is the best I got. With that out of the way, thanks for watching, and be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next video.